So, you're thinking about moving to Melbourne, Florida. Today, we are going to go over 10 reasons why you might not want to move to Melbourne because it's really not for everyone. So, Melbourne, Florida is located on the east coast of Florida, just about an hour away from Orlando, and it is a major relocation hub right now. Lots of people are relocating to the area right now because of job, because of the affordability that it has compared to other areas of Florida. So, it's a really awesome place to live for many people. Some people it's not. So this is what this video is, to understand some of the cons that come with living in Melbourne, that maybe you can decide if this is the best place for you to live, or maybe you should be looking somewhere else. All right, so let's start off with number one today. So number one is that in the summer, the weather can hit up to 100 degrees. So today it is 91 degrees. For me personally, I don't mind it. There are some days where you're like, oh, it's so hot, I can't get any yard work done. I can't really go hang outside as long as I'd like to. We bought a pool home and I love to just go out there, even if it's for an hour, just to cool down, get some sun. And that's the nice thing about this area, is that whether you can purchase a home with a pool, or there's lots of community pools, and there's also the beach. So there are lots of ways to cool down as well. So right now, I just actually turned down the AC before I started this video. Usually I keep it on 74 during the day, but I get hot a little bit when I'm jotting stuff off for these videos. So I just lowered it to 70 right now. We do blast the AC a lot in the summertime. That does also affect electric bills, but nonetheless, we have the infrastructure for these hot summers. As sometimes my husband even has a jacket he brings into work because his office is freezing cold in the winter because of the air conditioning. Just something to understand. I know this is something that could be for anywhere in Florida, but if you're just looking in Melbourne, something to consider just in Florida in general. For me personally, I'd rather take the heat any day in the summertime than take the winter up in the Northeast where I'm from and scrape ice off my car every morning in the wintertime and shovel and any of that. So this for me is an amazing trade-off. I'm totally happy with this trade-off, but for some people, it might not be a great trade-off. All right, so number two, you'll become a meteorologist during hurricane season. So hurricane season, it starts in the beginning of the summer. Starts, I believe it's June 1st, goes all the way into, I believe, November, if not the end of October. But nonetheless, usually summers are pretty relaxed. I've heard on the news that we're supposed to be having a less dramatic hurricane season than the past couple of years. The waters are a little bit cooler than they were last year. Nonetheless, or this fall actually, it's the last few years that I've lived here, we usually get at least one or two hurricanes that come in usually October. I believe it was September, October, both times that I have experienced hurricanes here. So usually by the time it comes into Brevard County or Melbourne, it is downgraded to a tropical storm. We did have a Cat 1 hurricane come direct to us a couple of years ago, and it was like my second year here too. So I was like, oh my gosh, every single time I get a little bit scared. So definitely follow along with the local meteorologist. Mike's weather page is really big and he does a really great job dumbing it down for us people that are in meteorology to understand like what's going on. Ultimately, this area has been pretty unscathed historically. Some people say that's why NASA chose this area, because it doesn't get hit as hard. Nonetheless, it's Florida, so you just always want to be prepared. The nice thing about hurricanes is we usually have a couple of weeks notice so that we can figure out if you need to evacuate or not. I have not evacuated a hurricane here yet, but if we ever need to, you will have enough time and notice. Nonetheless, you want to make sure you have insurance. I always recommend to clients get the flood insurance, even though my home's not in a flood zone. A lot of my clients do not purchase in flood zones, but I still recommend it. Usually under $1,000 a year, and it's worth it because you just never know. You never know if you're going to be that neighborhood or a drain gets clogged in your road and your house fills up with water. Something to consider. It is an extra cost as well, but nonetheless, it's a part of living in Florida. Again, the trade-off is I'd rather live here than do blizzards. So it just depends on your lifestyle and what matters to you. All right, number three is insurance sticker shock. So a lot of people call me and they will say, can I even get insurance down there in Florida? The news is saying insurance is really hard to get, really expensive. And yes, my job for you, if you hire me as your real estate agent, is to help you find a house that is insurable, that's not going to be super expensive, or can help you figure out how to lower that insurance rate if you're up for a little bit of repairs, or negotiate with the seller. Nonetheless, I own a 1978 home and we have insurance. We pay $3,000 a year plus the $750 for flood insurance. There are certain things I could do to this home that could make it cheaper. Actually, we do need to do some more tie downs around the roof, but a lot of the newer homes, especially any of the new builds, have all of these items to help you get really affordable insurance. And some people, depending on where they're coming from, say the insurance is actually less. A lot of people from Colorado, for example, will say, because they need fire insurance, California as well, insurance is actually better down here. Nonetheless, most of my clients are not paying over $3,000 a year for home insurance. Usually they are in the 2000s range. If they are paying over $3,000, it's probably a bigger home or a large home on the water, but for the most part, they are under $3,000. Okay, so living in Melbourne, Melbourne is not beachside, it is riverfront. So if you want to own a boat, if you own a riverside home, you can absolutely do that, but it is not a beachfront city. There is the 404, which is Pineda, that will take you off to Patrick's Place or into a satellite beach, which will then lead you to the beach. Depending on where you live, you'll be anywhere from 10 to 25 minutes away from the beach. There is the 518, which is the O'Galley Causeway, that will lead you to the beach as well. And then you have 192, which is downtown Melbourne, and that will take you to the beach as well. So there are 3 bridges that can get you off to the beach. In Melbourne, you are never too far away from the beach, which is really great, but it is not a beachside city. Something to consider if you do want to live beachside. You could be living in Satellite Beach, Cocoa Beach, Indian Harbor Beach, Melbourne Beach, but Melbourne Beach and Melbourne are completely different. It does get more expensive when you are beachside, but just remember, a lot of times people will call me and say, I want to live at the beach, but then they end up loving Melbourne because they're tucked in, but it's still super easy to get over to the beach. Number 5, it is a car-centric lifestyle. We don't really have that great of public transportation, so you definitely want to have a driver's license, be able to drive in this area. There are buses that can take people, but there's no metro or anything like that. Florida in general, for the most part, doesn't have that. And for the most part, Florida in general is not that commuter friendly, but nonetheless, for the most part, people don't have that bad of commutes here. For me personally, I'd rather just drive too. I don't want to be waiting for a train or a bus or anything like that. But if you are someone who's used to a big city like New York and you rely on public transportation, it might not be the best area for you. But they do have the bus system in case you do need to use that. Okay, number 6, lots and lots of construction. This is a little bit over dramatic point because, to be honest, most of Melbourne is built up. We do have parts that have a Melbourne address, but they're not technically the city of Melbourne. But for example, if you're watching this video and you're interested in Viera is right next to Melbourne. It has a Melbourne address, but technically is not the city of Melbourne. There are a lot of construction neighborhoods, new construction neighborhoods where there's a lot of building. Nonetheless, there are a lot of other neighborhoods in Melbourne as well. It's mostly built up, but there are a couple of townhome communities coming into Melbourne right now. You do run into a little bit of construction. They have some other plans that hopefully, I don't know if this is officially happening anymore, but Margaritaville, there was some construction for that for a bit and now they have left. I've heard they paused that because of interest rates. Not sure if that's continuing. I feel like anywhere in Florida, you're going to run into a lot of construction. Coming from Rhode Island, I never sold new construction. That just wasn't a thing. They're all older homes. It's nice that you can get a brand new home in this area for sure, but you might have to live in or near a construction zone for that to happen. All right, I'm about to get into number 7, but real quick, if you're new here, my name is Rachel Langley. I'm a local real estate agent here in Melbourne and the Space Coast for that matter, Brevard County. I cover all of Brevard County, myself and my team, and I created this channel because just like you, once upon a time, I was moving here and I had nowhere where I want to live, never been here before, and I needed some guidance. So I created this channel to help people just like you learn more about the area, and when that time comes, whether you are still thinking about it, you got the job offer, you're relocating here or retiring here, whenever the case be, anywhere from tomorrow to a year from now, make sure to reach out. My information is on screen right here because I got your back when it comes to moving to the Space Coast. And real quick, if you're enjoying this video, make sure to hit the like button and to subscribe because then YouTube knows to notify you when I post a new video every single week. Okay, number 7, the mosquitoes, no-see-ums, love bugs, palmetto bugs. We got it all. That was definitely something that took a little bit getting used to. Always recommend getting some sort of pest control for your house. It's not that expensive. I think I pay $4.50 a year. They come by monthly and they spray the outside of the house. And essentially, if you don't do that, you're going to be running into roaches, which are palmetto bugs, inside your homes. No matter how clean you are, they can get inside your house. So you want to be spraying and then you mostly won't see them. And if you do, they'll be dead from the spray. Even just yesterday, I was in the pool and I saw a palmetto bug like hiding underneath a planter and it was dead. But for the most part, if you use the pest control, you won't be trying to chase after or crawling or running getting roached. The spray will help them die, and then you can just pick it up. But nonetheless, we have those palmetto bugs. They're pretty much roaches. We also have love bugs. They usually come in the springtime, I believe. We had it our first year, a ton of them, and then the past few years after that, I haven't seen them as much. But if we have a bad season, they can get all over your car. You gotta do car wash, all that stuff. And then the mosquitoes too. Honestly, mosquitoes aren't bad. I don't know if no-see-ums are technically mosquitoes, but the no-see-ums, which are like gnats, the little tiny bugs that you can't see, which is hence the name no-see-ums. And some days they're bad. Like the other day, my husband and I went to go walk in the park. I went out for 5 minutes and I was like, let's go back. I'm getting in alive right now. Of course, he wasn't as bad because they like a certain blood. I'm O negative, I believe, so they like blood type O's, I've heard. But nonetheless, even we have our pool screen and it does help block them, but sometimes when they're really bad, they get in through some of the cracks and so forth, then they'll eat you. The best thing for those is Skin So Soft by Avon. It's like an oil you can put on your skin and they can't get through the barrier. But other than that, I've had any luck with spray. Just be warned, the sprays are not that great for that. Mosquitoes, yes, not no-see-ums. They can get through that. All right, number 8, let's talk about humidity. So in the summertime, I barely ever style my hair because I know I have it today, but I usually just air dry it because it's so humid. So just know that for the ladies watching, in the summertime, it can be tough to keep a hairstyle. But other than that, you also want to be aware, like, for example, we have some white furniture outside, and I just had my husband look up yesterday how to get rid of some of the mildew stains on the outside white furniture. Probably not the best idea to get white furniture, outdoor furniture, but nonetheless, just be prepared for more upkeep when it comes to that. Number 9 is there's a limited late night scene. So maybe you're watching this, you're younger, or maybe you like to go out, maybe you're single and you want to meet some people. I feel like it's a great opportunity to meet people because there's more like dive bars, karaoke bars that usually close around like 12 a.m. Nothing like crazy. I don't think we have any clubs here in the Space Coast. I don't know. That's not really my scene. If my friends and I want to go out for a drink, we go off to a restaurant that usually has live music. There's some great dancing places in downtown Melbourne, sometimes out Valley. For the most part, a lot of people will head off to the beach. Cocoa Beach has a lot more nightlife that can last beyond the 12 a.m. hours. If you're looking for like a metro where you can go walk and go out clubbing and such, maybe go into Miami or Orlando. It's a lot more chill here, which I love. I love the karaoke nights and the country line dancing nights. Great opportunity to meet people if you're single, but we don't really have like that crazy. Not crazy. We all have those, like I had those moments too when I was in my early 20s, but we don't really have that much here. All right, lastly, number 10 is the salt air corrosion. Melbourne is located, even though it's not directly on the ocean, it still gets the ocean breeze, so it brings in that salt air. So be prepared that ACs that could last 30 years usually typically only last 15 to 20 years here, and that can go for your undercarriage of your car too. I know a lot of people that prefer to lease in the area because then they can just trade in cars, not have to worry about any rusting for their cars. I recently got a membership to a car wash, lots of car washes here, that he was like, when this salt air, you should be washing your car a lot more, get the protectant on it, and he really sold me. So I don't know if that's true or not. It might be something to consider with your car. If you really love your car, you really take care of it, that you get that car wash membership to help with the corrosion and so forth. That is all I've got for you today when it comes to 10 reasons why you might not want to move to Melbourne. For me, all these things were not that big a deal because I love it here so much. I love living in the Space Coast. I love working here and helping families move here as well. And just this past year, I helped 40 families move to the area. It's really rewarding and I really love it because for me, it was just life-changing moving here. So Melbourne is such a great place to live. I have so many clients that absolutely love it here. Make sure to reach out if you have interest in making the move, or if you already are, you know you're relocating here, maybe you're retiring in a few years or in the next 6 months, reach out. I can handle both the new construction and resale because I got your back when it comes to moving to the Space Coast. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Rachel Langley, and I'll see you on the next one.